What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and as many of you guys know, we are in the middle of the Vlad the Nightborn Fragment Fusion event. Plarium basically is hitting us up with these fusions pretty much one a month now. It's usually like one every 3 weeks. It's getting pretty crazy, but it seems like we're getting them non-stop, and of course those come along with several events that you have to complete in order to get the champion that is the target of the fusion. Now you can see here, interestingly enough, with Vlad the Nightborn, we did not get an initial classic arena tournament early on. The classic arena tournament that actually took place does not have any fragments in it. So in this one, if you really want to finish it, you're going to have to participate in the Summon Rush and also in the Champion Chase tournament, which is currently going on right now. Now, I know this came up as a point of contention in the last fusion when everybody wanted to get Demithia, and she was kind of blocked behind finishing the Summon Rush and the Champion Chase to get all of her fragments. They've kind of done the same thing here with Vlad the Nightborn. So with this video today, we're not really going to be talking about the Vlad fusion. I just want to be talking about fusions in general, and I wanted to try to give a couple of tips for doing the Summon Rush, doing the Champion Chase, that you can do to kind of prepare for each fusion, whether you're in between them or you just want to start saving up some resources for them, because there are a couple things you can do to kind of make it a bit easier, especially when it comes to the Champion Chase, which is going on right now. Go here and we can take a look at it here on my main account. I'm already done with it for this current fusion, and I'm going to kind of tell you guys how I sort of prepare for this. You can see we've already gotten up to the legendary book here, but this actually is one of the easier ones because you can actually summon them from shards, you can summon them from fragments, any fusions at the portal, champions in the market, any champions that drop from campaign stages, any progress missions you get like Arbiter or Ramontu, daily login reward champ. So a lot more champions actually count for this than the Summon Rush, where it's basically all based on the fragments that you're pulling. So you can see the various tournament points that you can get here. So epics are 250, legendaries are 500. Obviously commons and uncommons are going to be 1, rares are going to be 10 apiece. Voids are worth a little bit more since those shards are a little bit harder to get. But you can see here, I don't know where I am, in 9th place with 4,800. So we're kind of way down. We're not going to finish anywhere near the top because I'm already done and I don't plan on pulling any more shards. That's one thing I kind of do. Once I get all the fragments, I'm kind of done. I don't really pull any more shards because I want to kind of conserve them for later. But the first thing, and quite honestly, this is the easiest, it's very time consuming, but it can save your life in these events, is mystery shards. Anytime I see mystery shards, I buy them in the market, especially now that I'm not farming the earlier dungeons, so we don't get a lot of mystery shards from the dungeons anymore. You can see here in my summoning portal, I currently have 3,271 mystery shards. I've had as high as 7,000 or 8,000 before. I've pulled 6,000 at a time. For one of these events, I've pulled 3,000, I've pulled 1,000, just however many points that you are off. Hopefully it's not a lot, but I mean, these can really save you. It is very time consuming. You do need some space. You've got to put champions into your vault. But if you're 400 or 500, points away from getting that milestone, having enough mystery shards to come in and just do that, like I said, it can save you in an event. And this is actually how I managed to finish the Champion Chase on my free-to-play account and get all of the shards in that. I had pulled all my Void shards because of the Void 2X in my free-to-play, and I was still, I want to say, about 700 points short of getting the last set of fragments, and so I had 736 mystery shards. I just pulled 700 mystery shards today. It took me maybe about an hour. And so, like I said, it's kind of time consuming and it's not very fun, but you get a lot of rare food doing that. You'll pull a couple of different rares in there, and it will help you finish up that Champion Chase event if you just need to get a couple of points there. So that's one thing I always like to tell people, is make sure you're buying those mystery shards, saving up a lot of them so you can kind of save yourself in that instance if you're a couple 100 points short, or even like I said, I pulled 6,000 in one event because all I have was mystery shards and I just had to do it. So that's definitely one way you can score some points in that event. The other thing I wanted to talk about too is the summoning portal. You can do like the fragments and the fusion champions. So I'll show you guys in my vault here. and you'll see that I do have a couple of these level 30 Void champions that I have saved, because in all the Void events I wind up getting a ton of terrible rares, and I just started saving up like Bloodhorn, Arbalester, Stone Skin, and Huntress, because you can use copies of them to fuse one of the epics in the portal. Now you can also get copies of Huntress and Stone Skin in the Tag Team Arena Bazaar. You'll notice I don't currently have them anymore, their slots open, but you can get 10 fragments at a time here, and you can buy them in here. So it's another source of being able to get those two champions. But when you go into the portal and you go to well, if you go to the fragment summon, first of all, you'll see here we have Huntress, we have Bloodhorn. So there's where I bought their 100 fragments. You can only do this one time. You can only fuse them out of the portal once this way. So we do have them on standby if we need to pull them and get those points. So that's one thing you can do. And then if we go to the fusion, you'll see you have Broadmaw here. Now Broadmaw is always available to fuse. No matter how many times you've done it, it will stay here and you can continue to do so. So let's say when you want to get 250, actually I think it's 350 for Broadmaw because he's a Void Epic. So there you go, easy 350 points. You saw like in our vault we had saved those Void champions. If we needed to right now, we could actually fuse a Broadmaw and get 350 points for this event. We don't need to, thankfully, but that's one of the ways I kind of prepare for this in case I'm short. I don't have to pull any more shards. I can come in here and I can just go ahead and get him. Now Huntress and Bloodhorn, you may have to pull some Void shards. I'm sure you'll get a couple of them when you're pulling for Void 2x. But the other two here you can basically fuse using these uncommon champions that you can basically get for your mystery shards. You can get them in the shop. You can get them from the campaign. So this is an incredibly easy way to get points that I think a lot of people forget about. But 350 a pop when you're in champion chase is pretty good. So if you've got enough duplicates saved up, you can go ahead and make a couple Broadmaws. That's going to be a little bit more helpful now, especially with the duplicate system coming. You'll be able to have those easy Lizardmen duplicates, or you can use them as a 4-star chicken or books or whatever you need to. So kind of helpful on multiple fronts if you have some of these rares already saved up. And it's pretty easy because you only have to take them to level 30. You don't have to upgrade them. You can just put the 3 Ascensions into him and you're all done. And that gets you your 350 points when you do fuse him. You'll obviously need, the silver to do it, but that's pretty easy. If you got a couple of him you can fuse, that's going to give you a bunch of points and keep you from having to pull those shards that are so very important for when the summon rush comes around. So that's kind of the thing is with the champion chase, you want to try to get as many points as you possibly can out of the fusions, out of the fragment summons, just that so that you're able to save some of your shards. Now, thankfully, most of these events wind up being on a weekend event, like a 2x, sometimes a 10x. So you can get some value out of the shards if you're having to pull them, but it's a lot nicer if you can come in here and you actually have fragments that you can use to just go ahead and pull that champion. That way you don't have to spend any of your shards, which is going to lead me right into the next point, which is basically shard management. You get to a point in the game where you're going to have too many champions and you don't have books for them, you don't have the gear for them. You don't have to pull your shards for every single event. In fact, once you get to a certain stage around mid-game, it's really more important to just hang on to your shards. Save them up for whatever you're going for. If there's a Void 2x you want to hit at some point, save up 50, 60 Void shards. Don't go blowing them on every 10x or every 2x. Sacred shards are incredibly valuable. They're hard to get in this game once you get to a certain point, especially since they got rid of the login calendar rewards. This is why it's very important that you're getting into that Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare clan boss, getting a 1 or 2 key team that's going so you can farm those chests and get more of those shards every single day. Ancient shards have become pretty easy to come by, so they're one way you can use to make up points. Like we were talking about pulling all the mystery shards. But it just comes down to having shards available if you know there's going to be a fusion coming up. And obviously at this point we know there's going to be a fusion every single month now. There's going to be a Summon Rush event in every single fusion. And we know now that you're going to have to take part in that Summon Rush event to get all of the fragments. So if you know that there's one coming, start conserving those sacred shards because those are 500 points a pop. That's the easiest way usually to get that if you've got 6 or 7 sacreds saved up. Again, mystery shards. Like I said, I pulled 6,000 for one event to finish it to get all the fragments that I needed one time. It was awful. It took forever, but I got it done because I had the mystery shards saved up. And that's like I was saying before, I always try to make sure I have several thousand mystery shards on hand just in case I need them to finish up one of those Summon Rush events. It's 1 point a piece. Sometimes, That's annoying, and it takes a long time, like I said, but that's something that you can definitely do to take care of it. But yeah, it just comes down to managing your shard inventory. You can see here we don't have any voids because I just spent them all on the Void 2X. That's really the only event that I need champions on anymore on my account. So we had a 23, I believe, initially from Clan Boss that I'd saved up, and then I bought a couple of the Halloween offers to get, I think, another 27. Pulled all crap rares, so now I'm back in a mode where I'm like, I don't want to spend any more money on the game. So there you have it. But we got 22 ancient shards just kind of sitting there, so when Summon Rush rolls around, if we need those, we can pull those. We've got 2 Sacreds, that's a quick 1,000 points, and then we've got our mystery shards to finish up what we don't have. And of course, we're hopefully going to be getting more stuff from the clan boss every single day with those shards. But just a couple of tips I wanted to throw at you guys real quick there to hopefully help you prepare when these events do roll around. I know they're frustrating, and it kind of sucks that you do have to do all of the champ chase and all of the summon rush in order to get the fragments for those fusion champions. It's something we told Plarium about a lot of the times. You guys got to make this a little bit more accessible for the people that don't want to spend money on your game or don't want to spend a lot of money and don't want to buy all these shards. But these are a couple of ways where you can sort of prepare for it, save up, especially with those duplicate champions, getting those void rares to fuse Broadmaw. Having those champions in the fragment portal that you can summon to get the points instead of having to use your shards. All those are pretty good ways to help alleviate the suffering that you're going to go through when these events roll around. So as always, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you guys have any other tips or anything you want to add, feel free to put them down in the comments. And if you have any questions about anything as well, put those down there as well, and I'll do my best to get back to you on those as soon as I can. So always, I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.